Well, hello everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Welcome to Dina's Ink Inspirations. I wanted to work on this PanPastel that I had started in part one. I did start recording again so that we could do the details, and I had made the stars using paint splatters. I had done it with the Posca paint pen and then just tapped the pen, and the splatters make the stars. The reason that I don't have that recorded is because about 4 minutes into doing that, I had a family emergency. So what I've done is I've made a copy onto smooth cardstock. And as you can see, they do print out a little bit different. I don't mind at all that the colors are changed a little bit. So let's work with this one, the printed one. I had specifically done this particular background not to be real detailed because I wanted it specifically for stamping. So today we're going to do Stampscapes desert scene, and we're going to maybe use the bats. I'm not sure. We'll know. We'll find out at the end. But I got the desert range and the monument small, the rock cluster large, and then I love the organ pipe cactuses, so we're going to use the large one and the small one. All right, so let's get started here. I do like to use these acetates. I think if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I like to do that for placement before I stamp anything. Seems to save me time and effort. So let's start. We'll start with these rocks. Okay, and what I like to do is put tape on the back. I just put some Scotch tape on the back, and then that way I can stamp a second time or a third time if I need to. So let's put that into place. I will stamp that one more time. Okay. Okay, so now, see if I can get this out of the glare of the light. Maybe over here. So what I was wanting to do was use these for the kind of the background there. So let's see how that works, or if it works. Let's see. I get the placement. I like the way the line, how that actually follows the line of the hills that I made there. That stamp just seems to work so perfect with that. So let me try to get that as close as I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. I hope it's pretty close. I like the way that looked right there. Oh, by the way, I am stamping everything in Versafine Clair Nocturne. Okay, let's see how it works. Okay. Didn't press hard enough in that section there. Okay, I like that. Okay. Now let's get the placement of this one. Let's see if I can get it close enough. Oh, it slid up, but I think it'll be fine. Just take off a little of the ink right there. Okay. Placement's pretty good for that one too. All right. Now I wanted to use the Oregon cactuses. I'm going to use the small one. Let's see. I wanted to use it like right in here somewhere. And then I wanted to use the just part of this big one right here. So let's give that a try. And then I'm thinking we can color everything after we get it stamped. So I have to decide where, if I want it there or there. I think since we're going to have the big one over here, I think I want to place this one here. And I'm also thinking I may not really even need to mask that off. Let's try it and see. I think the worst that would happen here is, if I don't mask it, is that we can just shade it and make it blend in. So, I don't know though, maybe I should. Oh, you know what? Let's be brave. Let's be brave and adventurous. Just go for it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think that worked. Okay. And then the last one we'll use just part of this guy. So let's see. Do I want him down here? Do I want him all? Let's go ahead and do it all the way up. Okay. It might make it a little harder to color in the backgrounds, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to get this a little straighter. At least I hope that's straighter. Or did I make it more crooked? Guess we'll find out, won't we? I really do like these cactus images. The Desert Southwest. I'll give it just one more. Okay, there we go. So that was quick and easy. Stamping's all done. And now I can spend a little time coloring. So what I've done now is I have my Prismacolor pencils. I just pulled out all my browns. And then I pulled out the warm grays, and of course the reason for the warm grays that I want to use for the rocks is because this kind of has a warm glow to it. So let's start with the rocks. So I've got my whole range of warm grays. So this isn't going to take a lot of shading. Start. Okay, this one's 70% warm gray. Let's just add a little bit of color to the rocks. And I'm basically just following the design, the color in the design. Coloring these rocks should actually be pretty quick and easy. They're not really going to need much. Okay, I think I'm going to go to the 90% down in here. Get it a little darker on the bottom. Oh, I forgot to get my glasses out. I could do better if I could see. I want to darken them down towards the bottom to kind of anchor them into the scene a little bit. We'll anchor them a little more with the browns in the dirt later. I'm wondering if I should put, that might be a little too bright, huh? Let's see. I don't want to put too much. It is nighttime in this scene, so we don't want things too bright. Our only light's coming from that galaxy there. This one, oh, by the way, is 10% warm gray. So basically all I'm just doing here is I'm just trying to put a little bit of highlight on the rocks. Switch over to my black. I'm not being real meticulous. I don't want to take a whole lot of time doing this part. Okay, now let's move to our browns and work on these back here. So let's see, let's go with light umber. I don't want to lose the warm glow that's on this part here that's coming from the sky. So I want to be careful about that. I'm just kind of filling in some color here where the design already has some of that shading in there. They're so easy to work with, aren't they? Okay, let's see. Here's, it's not going to need much. And you'll notice I'm holding my pencil kind of far back. I'm not holding it way down here, because if I do, I press really hard. It just, for some reason, I naturally do that. So if I have it back here, I don't press as hard, and I actually have more control, because it keeps me from putting too much color down at one time. And I'm not trying to be real precise, I'm just trying to get a little bit of color in the design. And see, this is where, right here is where the background hill had gone. So I'd like to blend that up into this area a little higher up. And if I do go into my cactus so with the other colors a little bit, it's no problem, because I can come in with my black and go back over it. Let's see how that's blending it in with the brown that was already there. Get a little bit more up in here. And the advantage for me of going slow, like I'm doing, and not pressing really hard, there's actually two advantages. If I'm going slow enough, the paper will take a little bit more layers of the color. If I'm pressing too hard, it limits how much color I can put down. So let's try, I'm looking for the chocolate brown. It's dark. There, this one's chocolate brown. It's a little darker than the other color I was using, so I want to stay more in the shadow areas. This chocolate's working really well with those colors that are there. Okay, now, the way I see this is that this cliff right here is behind this one. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to come in and get all of this real dark. I want to make sure that I'm keeping this one in front of this one. So if I keep this part lighter and this part darker, then it it keeps that depth. So again, I'm just trying to stay more towards the shadow areas. I don't want to lose my highlights. See all those little highlights? I don't want to lose those. And sometimes I have a hard time with that because I get a little bit aggressive with my coloring. Seems like I'm always trying to keep myself under control. Now, since this part over here is further away from the light that would be coming from here, it's okay to go darker. And then you won't see so many highlights like you see over here. At least that's the way my mind sees it. My eye sees it like that. Let's see. I don't know if I want to go much darker. Let's go a little bit darker. I've got dark umber and I have dark brown. I think I'm going to go with the dark brown because it's not quite as dark as the dark umber. And I already have like variation in here from when we did the PanPastel, but I would like to get a little bit more. And now here I am very light. I'm going very slow with it because I'm not real sure of myself right here. So I feel like when I'm working with colored pencils, if I go slow and I mess up, I usually can fix it. And that is one of the reasons I use colored pencils more than I would markers. But you see what I'm doing? I'm extending this down here now. I'm wanting to get this slope, but I don't want to go too crazy with it. Because I don't want to come way down here with it, which I'm almost doing. Right there, I think I'm getting a little too far. I need to stay up higher. Add a little bit more of this darker brown in some of these shadowed areas. Like this part right here, that looks recessed to me. This part looks like it's, like, see right here, that highlight right there is in front, and this is kind of a recess in the cliff. So what I'm trying to do is I'm wanting to make it go in there and make sure this is in front. And I'm not going to take a lot of time doing this kind of stuff because you can see what I'm doing, but a lot of times I can spend hours doing these kind of detailed things. I think that's one of my favorite parts of making all of these scenes. I love doing the details. Okay, I'm even wondering if the base of this should be darker. Probably. Okay, I'm gonna go to the dark, the dark umber, and over here I am gonna go darker. These are more shadowed areas. And I could even come in and with some black, but I don't think I'm going to use too much black in here. But what did I do with my black? Let's put a little bit of black in these areas. And again, I'm really staying to the darker areas, to the shadows. Okay, so you kind of get the idea there. Now let's use our browns in the ground here, and let's see if we can't anchor these rocks a little bit more. So this one again, I'm using dark umber again. And using it just at the base of the rocks. I think the light seems to be coming more like this, right? So I'm going to kind of angle this way. And I think because it's coming this way, I would be angling this way on this side of the rocks. Let's go a little bit lighter. Let's go back to light umber. A quick turn in my sharpener here. See, I'm really holding it far back. That way, if I don't like what I'm seeing, I haven't laid down the color real hard. And I'm just scribbling just to give a little more variation, because I don't think the sand would look smooth. color's blending in a little bit too much, so let's switch over. Let's do the dark brown, at least in these areas. And I'm not thinking too much about what I'm doing. I'm just scribbling in there. Okay. What do you think? We could come in here. You know, if you want, you can come in here with a little bit of white. But I would be really, really careful about how much white I use. And I would just use it in this area here where there's more lighting. Over here, there's not much lighting. So now, like I said, I could spend a very long time just refining it and getting it the way I want it. But I don't want to bore you guys to death just doing it over and over and refining it more and more. But I would probably come in here with a little bit, maybe even black. Let's see, maybe just real quick. But it's super light. Notice I'm hardly even putting any pressure because I don't want it real dark, but it's giving me more variation in the sand. I'll probably come in here and see. I'm sorry, I bore you guys to death. I could do this for hours, but I'm hoping that you get the idea of what I'm doing as far as coloring and getting the details. Just anchoring the rocks a little more with my black pencil. This one needs to be anchored better. There would be more shadows in it, I think. Okay, but you get the idea. You know, you just keep messing with it. And then one of the other things that you can do, you know, we could come in here and we could darken this, the corners here. In fact, yeah, let me do that. Let me get some ink real quick. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to use the Memento black, Tuxedo black. Okay, and I'm either going to make it look better or I'm going to ruin it. So let's give it a try and see what happens. Okay, now I'm going to go off the page, start off the page. And I'm actually going really light-handed here too, because I'm unsure of myself. See, we can even come in here with colored pencils or markers if you're a marker person. Want to come too far in with the black, especially over here in this area. But there, you also get the idea there. You can make it as dark as you want, and then if you need to, you can always use your gel pens and add some more stars back in, or use your paint. Do your paint splatter technique and put more stars back in. But I was talking about the bats earlier. And I was going to show you something. I think that these bats can go that way or this way. I don't think it matters. I think they're so cool though. So I did stamp some out on the piece of acetate. I think I do want to put the bats. We could put them coming in off the page. We could put them going off the page there. Wow, the possibilities, right? I can't decide. I think I want to put them close to the cliffs. Let's try that. And I like the way that looks, so. And now because this is a very small image, you don't want to stamp it very hard. Now that I've said that, I hope I didn't. There. I like the bats. That looks really nice. Did you guys hear my kitty? She's giving me her opinion. Something else you could do, you could even come in here with some black and darken this corner a little bit. That'll help frame this picture. It kind of helps frame it and kind of draws the eye more into the center. And I'm not pressing hard. I don't want to smear this image. A lot of times I've noticed if I stamp in the Versafine Clair and it hasn't had enough time to dry, I'll just end up smearing the image. Okay. Let's see, like here I could probably put in some more shadows. And then like what I was talking about in the sky, you know, you can come in, so this one warm gray, you can come in and just add. See, and I'm just scribbling. You can add a little variation to your little galaxy. And you can even use some of these colors that are down here. Like, let's see, I did get some out. Let's try the peach. Get a little more variation. Guys, if you guys notice or not, but if you've been watching any of my videos, you notice a lot of what I do is I just scribble everything. So you can add some variation that way. You can also add more with your white pencil. Like these little areas here that we ended up with. And again, I can't stress it enough. I don't press hard. I go slow. Let's see how it's getting a little more of a glow in certain areas. You know, if you were doing this on your PanPastel, you could actually use a white pastel pencil and do it on the pastel itself before printing it out. And so you can just play with it like that and add more details. I think I don't like all the white that I did there, so I'm coming in with beige. Let's see if I can tone that white down a little bit. I needed to keep it right here. I think I went too far with the white. Okay. But you get the idea, and you guys can kind of see what I do to color in these images. Another thing you could even do, if you wanted to put a little bit of sparkle, even put some stickles in the sky. If you've got some little gems, you could put some stars with the gems. But I like it like that. I think I'm going to leave it like that. I would probably spend a little more time refining everything and adding a little more pencil color and just getting the layers of the pencils on there. But I'm going to stop there so that I don't bore you guys to death. And I want to thank you for joining me today. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.